Hey everyone, it's me again. This was our history units for this year, and we used Homeschool in the Woods again. I really liked their stuff. We did the American Revolution. Last year we did colonial times, and this, along with it, you have so many choices of projects, but we did the lap book. Get to stay open. I'm trying to do this one-handed and not make you guys sick. Okay, so there's George versus George, the T that had to do with the taxes, First and Second Continental Congress, document pockets, little scrolls, Paul Revere and the Minutemen, little pop-up, a Whig versus a Tory, or they would call them Troy. What's a Whig, what's a Tory? Facts about the Liberty Bell, monarchy versus a republic, and then, this opens this way, people worth knowing about. Here's a map of all the different things that took place in Boston, the different types of soldiers of the Revolution, more people worth knowing about, all the different taxes, they called them acts back then, women of the war, let's not leave us ladies out. So that was very fun. We also, they give you your choice, like you can do the lap book, or there's notebooking. I gotta set this down for a second so I can move this. There's lap books or there's notebooking, and it's so hard to pick and choose. We kind of do it all. We just do all the projects. That's just how we are. All us overachievers, maybe. There's in there, tells you how to fold and cut a 5-point star and stem a star. And they have great timelines in their programs. I mean, they're just fabulous timelines. This opens way up. And we tried, last year we put it on the wall, but that kind of got it messed up, so we just kept it in our book. Hold on. It's not easy to do one-handed. This is, if I can get it to open, a map of all the major battles. It's marked red and blue who won. A lot of times it was both red and blue. And then here's a legend of the battles. And then there were poems included, what their money looks like, or looked like. Get my tenses right. Different types of uniforms, and a larger version than went in the lap book. This would be like in your notebook thing. So that was a little bit redundant. We duplicated ourselves doing that, but I liked the pictures. Not that it's my book, but I like the pictures. And then there's always the copy work for handwriting practice, and these were famous quotes from our founding fathers. And of course, this is where Jenna was getting her cursive writing practice, was doing that. And we must have had, oh my gosh, 25 to 30 books that we used along this. I can't even begin to go through the list. A lot of them were checked out from the library. I would show you. This is the Mitchell map. It's what it looked like in the beginning. And then the comparison of, British Parliament and how it worked. Why... our government under the control of England. We didn't get a choice. That's what it was all about. Taxation without representation. And that I can talk. That would be because they didn't allow us to have a voice in Parliament. And then, of course, Ben Franklin's famous snake. It's all chopped up because all the colonies were separated. And as they joined together and became one big entity, the snake became a whole piece. So that was pretty interesting to learn about. So that was her American Revolution. It almost, because of all the other reading material, took us through the whole school year, but not quite. So to fill in the gap, because we want to do the Civil War next year, we also used a Homeschool in the Woods, the early 19th century. And I have to say, this one I wasn't as impressed with. Mainly because they give you a suggested reading list, and I really like to go with that and then add my own books to it. I couldn't find the books they had on their reading list. They're all out of print. Most of them are landmark books, and they are super hard to get a hold of. But that was my only reason. It's still a great program, but I just like to go into it a little bit more. I thought it was a little vague without having the books to go along with it. So we did have a book about the Barbary Pirates, and you have all these little projects. Of course, this is the lap book, you know, your famous duel. Innovations, all the different things, or not all, but some of the different things that were made in the early 19th century. The covered wagon, things that they take on the covered wagon, the Erie Canal, and the White House. This is going to open down. Indian story bag, which, you know, we learned about it before, but this kind of reinforced that learning, because we learned it in our Iroquois study we did that the Homeschool in the Woods offered. Causes and events of the War of 1812. A pocket full of presidents. I believe that was the first 12 presidents, if I remember correctly. Then we had the growth of the nation map. You use the clear plastic overlays, the overhead projector sheets, whatever they're called. And as the different things change, you add to your map. And so they can see how it changed and how it's grown over time. You know, the Louisiana Purchase. And this one, it covered so much stuff that happened between the American Revolution and the Civil War that doing this without the suggested reading material, in my opinion, is not enough. Like I said, it's still a really nice program to use. I enjoyed it, but I would have loved to have been able to get some reading material. We had, I could only find two. It was the Barbary Pirates and one landmark book, Sam Houston, The Tallest Texan. So I had a tough time with it. The local libraries didn't have anything. I was just like, ugh. You know, what about the California Gold Rush? There's a little bit of information about that. You know, of course, and then Lewis and Clark, but we studied that last year in geography, so we had already read most of those books. And, you know, the War of 1812, you know, Texas rising from the Mexicans. Just, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't enough information. So we also, in this same program, we made this album, if you can pronounce that word. That's the type of first pictures that they had, and you take a little cardboard and you cover it with aluminum foil and kind of tatter up the edges of your sheets and write in your little bit of information on it, and using a brown paper bag. This was kind of fun. Jenna enjoyed this, except, of course, the writing part, but she never likes writing. And so that was fun to do. Then, of course, we did our little notebooking part. She had, this is a jumping jack. You, oops, wrong string. Pull on the string, and he's tangled. Well, I would show you, but he's tangled because of the way I had him in the book. Anyways, you pull on the string and he jumps up and down. If you watch Little House on the Prairie, they had jumping jacks. These were famous mountain men, and I'm was a little confused why this didn't end up in the lap book, but the instructions didn't have it in there, and it also, I couldn't figure out how to way to fit it in there to make the lap book work right. Then our timeline. Now this was huge. I mean, look. Just look at all the different things and people from that time frame. Just, the pages are just full. Up to 1850. I mean, just full. So that may be something that we revisit again. A little more in depth because, like I said, I just could not find the reading material, and I was very disappointed with that part of it. The program as a whole would be great if you can find the reading material, and I was lost. I didn't know what to get or what to do. So those are great projects, we had tons of books that we did with the Revolution part, and then nothing to go with our early 19th century. Anyhow, we had fun. History is one of our favorite ones to do, and again, I thank you for watching, and have a great school year, and you should check out the Homeschool in the Woods. They got some pretty cool stuff on there. And no, they didn't pay me to say that. I just happen to like it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.